Hello, Perla. I do hope I said your name correctly. I'm Amy, and we're in class together. And I just got done reading your post for week one's discussion, and I really enjoyed reading it. It kind of I could tell you like some of the different parts, your excitement, enthusiasm, especially for the article from Shanker. I agree. So let's get started. We started talking about the self-regulation, the four types of self-regulation. And of course, they're goal setting, self-monitoring, executive use of self-instruction or self-talk, and self-reinforcement. Goal setting is a great way to have the students see the progress that they're being made, and it also helps hold them accountable for what they need to be doing. So that's a great way to keep them on task and to keep them motivated to keep working. And then the self-monitoring. I struggled with this, but after reading your post, I do have a better idea of what that entails. I do like the idea of a checklist or a visual log for the children to keep track of, to kind of assess what they're doing and how they're doing it and what else needs to be done to complete their job or just to get through a situation. And of course, self-talk is my most favorite because I absolutely do it. I caught myself doing it earlier and my husband kept asking me what, and I finally said, I am self-talking to myself, and he just let me be. But self-talk, I have to say it out loud. I need to hear what I need to do, especially when I'm working on multiple tasks. I need to just hear myself, put them in order, and then put and prioritize them. And if it works for me, I think allowing students to do that and encouraging them to do that and teaching them to do it quietly. Sometimes I'm not so quiet when I do mine. It would just be a great way for them to get through a situation, get through a task. So I really do like the self-talk. I'm not sure if you're a self-talker, but it does work. And then again, in your paper, you talked a little bit more about goal setting, and I absolutely agree. Short-term goals, not too easy because they get bored, and then they kind of get a little like, oh, that's easy, and then they kind of find themselves in situations that might not be desirable. So short-term, challenging goals that once they find success with that, they're going to be motivated to continue. And we can build on those goals to make them a little bit more challenging and a little bit more challenging. And then finally, the self-reinforcement is also very important. And I see that you do the high fives and the M&Ms and things like that. And I as well do high fives. I do the elbow. I also have a refrigerator in the classroom, and I do have popsicles. So sometimes when they really deserve a great reinforcer, they get a popsicle. But I also encourage them to have their own reinforcers along with them. Sometimes they have those puppets, or they have their little drawing pad and their little colored pencils that, when they've completed a task or they've gotten through a situation that they were able to kind of get themselves through, they can take that break. And if they enjoy drawing, they can draw. Or some of them bring in their graphic novels where they can read their little books and such. And those reinforcers have to be consistent and readily available, because if they're expecting them, we need to deliver. And then, as with you, I am all about the positive reinforcement. I enjoy a celebration when I finally get through a task. I've completed all of my assignments for this week. So tomorrow I'm celebrating by going to a huge farm and just rewarding myself with a fun day outside of the house and outside of teaching. So I hope you're doing well with the assignments as well, and you give yourself a positive reinforcer when you are complete. And then let's move on to self-regulation and self-control. I always thought they were one and the same. I never really gave self-regulation a lot of thought until this week. And I did learn that you cannot have self-control without self-regulation. And we both learned from the article from Shanker that self-control is about inhibiting our impulses, and usually those impulses are negative. Usually the impulse wants us to do something that we know is not right. I use the example of, I only need one cookie, but I want to eat 10 cookies, or I just, I have the impulse to shop, and I, instead of buying one pair of pants because they're on sale, I buy 5 pair of pants. Those are impulses that you need to have self-control. And a lot of times it is a negative impulse. And we're expecting children to ignore those impulses, ignore the negativity, and deal with the situation. Well, they can't do that unless we teach them how to self-regulate. And self-regulation is a way to manage the stress, work through the stress, and then figure out what the triggers are to be proactive the next time. And in order to do that, we really need to observe the child, take data collection, and then work with the child. Explain to them, hey, this is what we're noticing. We're noticing that right before you get upset, we're seeing this. And then if we allow them into that conversation, and if we allow other staff members that work with that child into that conversation, we can be proactive, and we can make this self-regulation such a positive way to work through any stressor, any situation. I really did like your post. You say you do work with children. I'm curious, what was it? Small. I'm trying to think if I saw it in your paper. Oh, you work with K through second grade SPED, and I am upper L. So I have 4th, 5th, and 6th. I do have a 2nd grader. I do have a 3rd grader, and I have an 8th grader. It's really great to collaborate sometime and just see kind of what you do in your learning center compared to what I do in mine. Well, Perla, I wish you all the best, and I'm sure I'll see you in class. Thanks, Perla. You have a good rest of your weekend.